Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today I've got a wonderful story to share with you, a tale from deep within the forest that reminds us all about the power of kindness and sharing. In a winding river, deep in a lush forest, lived a very large crocodile named Max. Now, Max was not just large, he was also incredibly selfish. He believed the entire river belonged to him and only him. Every single day, without fail, you could hear his booming voice echoing through the trees, "Stay away from my river. It's all mine. If any of you dare to come in, I'll eat you all up." As you can imagine, this didn't make him very popular. Because of Max's threats, the river, which should have been teeming with life, was completely empty. There were no shimmering fish, no wriggling tadpoles, no croaking frogs, and not a single crab or crayfish to be found. They were all terrified of the selfish crocodile. The other forest creatures had to travel 4 miles, thirsty and tired, just to find a different place to drink. Meanwhile, Max would spend his days lounging in the sun, lying on his big back. He'd often be seen picking his big, sharp teeth with a stick, feeling very pleased with himself for having the whole river to himself. But having everything to yourself can be a lonely business, even if you're a giant crocodile. Then, one morning, a strange sound broke the usual forest quiet. It wasn't birdsong or the rustling of leaves. It was a loud, agonizing groan. The creatures of the forest woke up, startled. Peeking from behind the trees, they saw Max, the fearsome crocodile, in terrible pain. He was holding his huge, swollen jaw and crying real crocodile tears. Some of the animals felt a little bit sorry for him. After all, nobody likes to see someone in pain, but they were still too scared to go near him. "He might just be trying to trick us," whispered a rabbit to a squirrel. So they all just watched from a safe distance, wondering what would happen next. Just as it seemed no one would help, a tiny creature appeared. It was a brave little mouse. He scurried out from the undergrowth, his nose twitching as he sniffed the air. With courage that far outweighed his size, he crept right up to the groaning crocodile. He climbed carefully along Max's long tail, over his big round tummy, and up onto his scaly neck. Finally, he stood right before Max's enormous open mouth. The whole forest held its breath. What was this tiny mouse doing? The mouse, without a moment's hesitation, scurried right inside. There was a hush. All you could hear was the gentle rustle of leaves. A moment later, the little mouse reappeared, dragging something behind him. It was a huge, rotten tooth. That was the cause of all Max's misery. Instantly, Max's pain vanished. He blinked, shook his head, and then a slow, wide smile spread across his face. A smile no one had ever seen before. He was so grateful. He looked at the little mouse and, as a thank you, gave him the juiciest, most delicious nut he could find. The little mouse nibbled on it happily and promised, "If you ever get a toothache again, just call for me. I'll come and help you." From that day forward, Max and the little mouse became the most unlikely of best friends. Max was a changed crocodile. He realized how wrong he had been. One sunny afternoon, he stood by the riverbank and called out to all the animals, but this time his voice was friendly. "Please," he said, "come and drink from the river. Come and bathe. The river doesn't belong to just me. It belongs to all of us." At first, the animals were hesitant. But seeing the little mouse playing happily on Max's back, they slowly started to come back. Soon, the river was alive again. It was filled with fish, tadpoles, crabs, and crayfish. The forest was filled with laughter and the happy sounds of splashing water. Max learned that sharing his river didn't mean he had less. It meant he had more friends, more joy, and a heart full of happiness. And that is a lesson for all of us. True happiness is unfound in what we keep for ourselves, but in what we share with others. Thank you so much for listening to this story with me today. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming tales. We'll see you in the next video.